Welcome back, dear friends, once again at Lit eCity YouTube channel, the one-stop destination for English learning resources. फ्रेंड्स, आज का हमारा जो वीडियो है वो है यूजीन यूनेस्को का प्ले द चेयर्स, द वेरी फेमस प्ले कमिंग फ्रॉम द थिएटर ऑफ द एब्सर्ड. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं आज का ये सेशन, लाइक ऑलवेज विद अ ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन टू द राइटर. यूजीन यूनेस्को was a Romanian French playwright, and he became one of the most important figures in 20th century drama. In fact, born in Romania, Ionesco spent most of his career in France, and he wrote most of his works in French language. And due to the nature of his writing, जिस तरह से उन्होंने लिखा, जिन themes को लेकर जिस तरह से present करा, he became a leading figure in the literary movement of the mid 20th century, theater of the absurd. देखिए, यूनेस्को ने खुद अपने वर्क्स को डिस्क्राइब करा है एंटी प्लेज. नाउ व्हाट इज एन एंटी प्ले? एंटी प्ले इज अ काइंड ऑफ प्ले विच डज नॉट फॉलो any conventions established for playwriting, like division of acts, like action, characters, dialogue. इनमें से किसी को भी फॉलो नहीं करता है. rather in words of UNESCO, his works combine dream or nightmare atmosphere, grotesque, bizarre and whimsical humor. ये सारी चीजें, they are the hallmark of the theater of the absurd. Now, it is also very interesting that UNESCO never wanted to become a playwright. He was actually trying to learn English, and he was struck by the absurdity of the cliches used in the daily conversation. किस तरह से हम कुछ फिक्स फार्मूलाज हैं, उनको विदाउट गिविंग वेटेज टू देयर मीनिंग वी यूज दैम कैजुअली एंड फॉर्मली. तो उस चीज को स्टडी करते हुए एन आइडिया स्टक टू हिम, एंड आउट ऑफ दीज नॉनसेंसिकल सेंटेंसेज ही कंस्ट्रक्टेड हिज फर्स्ट प्ले द बाल्ड सोप्रानो. And this particular play actually satirizes the meaninglessness of the bourgeois life and totally emptiness in its formalities, in its casual way we use language. If we talk about the present work, The Chaises, written in first published or presented in 1952, it is an absurdist play belonging to the genre of theater of the absurd. This particular theater of the absurd, it emerged in Paris and later spread to the Europe during the 1950s. और इसका reason क्या था development का? Devastating experience of World War II and the Holocaust, जो उससे एक वाइड स्प्रेड स्केल पर, अनपैरेलल्ड स्केल के ऊपर डिस्ट्रक्शन हुआ था, डिवास्टेशन हुआ था, ह्यूमन डेथ हुई थी. तो थिएटर ऑफ द एब्सर्ड उससे डेवलप हुआ. इनफैक्ट जब ये सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ, और खासकर जब Jewish Holocaust या फिर use of atom bombs हुआ, it called into questions many fundamental assumptions about human nature, reason and society. Philosophers were no more able to understand that we strive for success, for some reason, for some progress. जो concept थे कि we are always evolving, we are reaching the apex of the creation. This doubt in our ability, in our purpose, it gave rise to existentialism, especially as given in the theories presented by philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus. Now, this existential philosophy, it emphasized, इसका मेन जो फोकस था वो इस बात पर था कि our human existence is marked by isolation. कहने के लिए हम एक सोसाइटी में रहते हैं, बट वी ऑल आर आइसोलेटेड. वी आर basically like living in cocoons, and there is permanent state of anxiety and absurdity, and we live in a universe which does not have an inherent purpose, though we are always trying to find meaning in life, the events, the happenings, but there is no meaning. Camus, in his very popular path-breaking essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, he explored the concept of the absurd. Why he call it the absurd? Because there is a continuous conflict between humanity's search for meaning. We always try to find meaning. We always try to find pattern in the events, in the happening, whether they are conducted by human beings or they are natural or supernatural events. But there is always an apparent meaninglessness. It means there is no connection between the result and the cause. So Albert Camus showed that this is our efforts to understand the happenings, the events of the universe is basically absurd. Now, the theater of the absurd took these philosophical ideas and expressed them through dramatic form, or in the form of a drama. If we come to this particular play, its original title was Les Chaises. It was written in French in 1951. It was first performed in 1952 at Theatre Lancry in Paris, first published in 1954 in original French edition, and in 1958 it was translated into English. It is a one-act play, and unlike traditional 3-act or 5-act structures, it presents a single continuous action that builds intensity towards its climax and unexpected conclusion and anticlimactic situation. तो पूरा play जो है it's a progression of one single event, and there are, in fact, अभी जब हम play का study करेंगे, there is no event at all. It just builds up. We are waiting for something to happen, but nothing happens. Just like another very famous absurdist play, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. The setting of the play is also very important. It takes place in a circular room at the top of a tower on a circular island. There is a circular island. Island के ऊपर एक tower है. Tower के अंदर tower भी circular है, and there is a large room, and चारों तरफ से it is surrounded by stagnant water, and it has a semicircular rear wall, large double door in the center, several other doors, and many empty chairs. एक तरह से जो setting है, it is also symbolic. Like this circular room, this situated in a tower, our life is also an empty room, a circular room, and we are also surrounded by stagnant waters. We all are like island, separated from each other. So it's a very important. Talking about characters, there are two major characters. An old man aged 95, and he has worked as a general factotum. Now factotum, a person who do simple menial jobs, and there is his wife, an old woman 94 years old, who treats her husband sometimes like her man or sometimes like her child. And in the later stage of the play, there is an orator, a professional speaker hired by the old man to deliver his message. There are many invisible guests. Yes, dear friends, invisible. A large crowd of guests who are supposed to arrive. There are conversation between the couple and these guests one by one, but we never see them on the stage. They are supposedly there. So there is a lady, a colonel, a bally, a photo engraver, and the most important of all, the emperor. But we never see them on the stage. So this is the setting of the play. तो चलिए start करते हैं play. The play begins with the old man standing on a stool, leaning out of window, looking intently at the water below. जो old man है वो नीचे water को देख रहा है. Now it is early morning, but he is talking to his wife, the old woman, and saying that वो लगातार she is calling him back. She is worried that he might fall. So she pulls him away from the window, but he is saying that I am looking at the shadows of the ships and they are arriving. It means he is waiting. But she calls him and she tells him that it is very early morning and still dark. he cannot see the shadows of the ships he claims to be watching. There are no ships and there are no shadows. This shows that basically we all are waiting something ke kuch ho, some meaning to arrive, but there is no meaning. The old woman leads him to two chairs and he sits on her lap. Now she speaks to him in a maternal, soothing tone, as if she is the mother and the old man is her baby, her care, and treats him like a child. This basically establishes the ambiguous and continuously shifting relationship between the two characters. They are both husband and wife, but they are also mother and child. It is not clear which role the old man is playing. Now the woman asks the old man to tell her the story of their arrival on the island. The old man gets irritated. He says that he has told it so many times on the daily basis, and what new he can add to it, complains about the repetition. But the old woman insists. She says, no, I want to listen it to again. And reluctantly he agrees and begins. Then at last we arrived. This is how daily he begins this story, and daily, on the daily basis, the old woman listens to the same story. The story is vague, fragmentary, seems meaningless, but it represents one of their few shared memories. In fact, like the setting of the play, the story itself is a symbol. This is then at last we arrived. At last we arrived. We took birth, and rest of the story is meaningless. It is fragmentary. It is without purpose. And once again we repeat it, or other generations repeat it again and again on this earth, but there is no meaning in it. तो ये जो स्टोरी है ये भी अपने आप में एक सिंबल है एब्सर्डिटी का, मीनिंगलेसनेस ऑफ लाइफ का. So now the old woman attempts to console old man. She says to him, you are very intelligent, and once again there is repetition of this dialogue that you could have had a much more distinguished career than working as a general factotum. She repeats it again and again, you could have become this, you could have become that. लगातार जो repetition increase करती रहती है. She praises his abilities, expresses regret that he never achieved the success he deserved. ओल्ड मैन जो है वो लगातार रिफ्यूज करता रहता है. नो, देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट, मैं फैक्टोटम ही रहता. द ओल्ड वुमन इज कंटिन्यूअसली प्रेजिंग हिज एबिलिटी एंड ही रेस्पॉन्ड्स विद बिटरनेस एंड सेल्फ पिटिंग, listing his failures and missed opportunities. Finally, he expresses his deep regret that he has wasted his life. Now, but he says that tonight is different. And now he has invited many important people to their island because he has an important message that will save humanity. अचानक टोन ऑप्टिमिस्टिक हो जाता है, फिलोसॉफिकल हो जाता है, because the old man says this is the message he has spent his life to prepare. इस मैसेज को प्रिपेयर करना, and this is very important message for the humanity. He has spent his entire life preparing this message, and finally he will share it to the world. Naturally, the old woman also becomes excited, but she is also has a bit of anxiety because they discuss that who are the guests who will arrive. The old man told her that they all are important people from society, military officers, scholars, and even the emperor himself will arrive to listen to this important message. Now the old man reveals that he has hired a professional orator to deliver the message on his behalf after he is gone. Now they both begin to discuss how they will prepare for the arrival of their guest, because they have to do all the arrangement. They discuss what they will need: many chairs for all the guests. Now, as they perform small domestic tasks like putting utensils here and there, which is once again shows the futility of human actions. एक जना उठाकर इधर रखता है, दूसरा वापस उधर रख देता है, and continue their circular conversation, repetitive conversation. They again and again repeat the same thing, the same response, the same query, and filled with repetition and moment of tenderness and also frustration. They both becoming irritated towards each other, but both know that they too are here to share their thoughts and communication. There is no one else. Now they hear the sound of a boat approaching. The old man opens the door and the first guest, a lady, arrives. But we have to just imagine, because the old man acts as if the lady has arrived, but we can't see anyone. They greet the invisible lady with great ceremony, bringing her a chair, engaging her in conversation. And now they are speaking to the empty chairs as if someone was sitting there, laughing at her jokes, responding to her comments, and treating her with great respect. More boats arrive, more invisible guests enter. Each time, either the old man or the old woman rushes to answer the door, greets the unseen guest, brings another chair, engages in conversation. This goes on. A colonel, a bally, a photo engraver, many others. They come one by one, the door opens, they greet, same repetitive movement. Once again, it shows how human society works, how clueless we are regarding our life and its action. With each new arrival, the stage becomes more crowded with empty chairs. We are supposed to have a company there, but it is only empty chairs. The old couple rushes back and forth, bringing chair after chair, greeting guest after guest, having multiple conversations simultaneously with people who are actually not there. More guests arrive, the couple become increasingly frenzied to arrange the things. They rush between doors, carry chairs, make introductions, and try to be good hosts to the growing invisible crowd. This shows that how it is basically absurd thing that we are so much engaged about the little nonsensical things and give so much value to them. The stage gradually fills with empty chairs arranged in rows facing the platform where the orator will speak. During this section, the couple has several revealing conversations with their invisible guest. Obviously, there is only one speaker, either the old man or the old woman, and we can understand the conversation only by how they are responding. With the lady, they discuss the past. With the colonel, they talk about military matters. With the ballet, the old man flirts, which causes the old women to become jealous. With the photo engraver, they discuss art and documentation. So continuously, meaningless, absurd conversation is going on. The most important moment comes when the emperor himself arrives. This is naturally announced with great ceremony. The old women and the men and the women, they are overwhelmed with excitement and anxiety. They position themselves carefully, showing the emperor the greatest respect. They explain to the invisible emperor about the important message that will save humanity and thank him for honoring them with this presence. It is also important to notice that absurdity does not limit itself to the lower level of the society. UNESCO wants to show that from emperor to the common man, everyone is involved in the circular nonsensical acts. Finally, the orator arrives. Unlike the other guest, we can see him. He is real, visible character, actually appears on the stage. He is dressed formally, carries himself with professional dignity, and the couple also greets him with great respect. They explain he is a professional speaker, which they have hired to deliver the important message. The old man has written down this message. The message is for the salvation of the humanity. With all the guests now assembled, the orator present to deliver the message, the old man and old women feel their work is done. They have arranged all the things properly. Now the time has come for the purpose of this meeting. The old man delivers a brief farewell speech to the invisible crowd, expressing his joy and satisfaction that now his message will finally be heard. But quite shockingly, and in a sort of anticlimax, both the old men and women throw themselves out of the window into the water below. We hear the sound of their bodies hitting the water. What does this mean? After the couple's death, the orator is left alone, who approaches the platform to deliver the important message. However, in a final twist, the orator turns to the audience and reveals he is a deaf mute. He can't listen, he can't speak, he can only make inarticulate sounds which are meaningless. He attempts to communicate by writing on a blackboard, but he can only produce nonsensical words and letters, and something like that, and finally just adieu. So this is one of the most important element or the event of the play. The message that was supposed to save humanity cannot be delivered. So what the playwright is trying to say is that there cannot be any message which claim to save humanity or provide a salvation to humanity is false. There are no such messages, because everything that happens in this universe is beyond our comprehension. It is meaningless. The life work of old man, the meaning he wanted to communicate is lost. As the orator gives up and leaves, we hear the sound of an invisible crowd. There is laughter, there are murmurs, there are coughs, and the noise of a theater audience. Thus the play ends with this powerful image: empty chairs, empty stage, sounds of a crowd that does not exist, bringing out, highlighting the complete absurdity, the complete emptiness of some meaningful existence of this life. If we talk about the central theme of this play, the most important message this play conveys is the nothingness and the ontological void. What is ontology? Ontology is the study of the meaning. So there is void, there is emptiness of meaning. It is, Ionesco himself called it the ontological void, that there is, meaning is invisible, meaning is not there. We can see it in the form of the invisible guest, the empty chair, the failed message. Everything is there to prove that basically there is nothing. We cannot find something. There basically it is total absence and meaninglessness. The crowd of guests who never actually arrive represents the absence at the heart of the existence. The old men and the old women desperately want to believe in presence of others, in connection, in community, in society, but there is only emptiness. The empty chairs, it creates a powerful visual metaphor. Each chair represents a presence, a connection, but all are empty. These chairs are evidence of absence rather than presence. The failed message, the old man believes he has discovered the meaning of life, a message that will save humanity, but this message cannot be communicated. It dies with him, revealing that there was perhaps nothing significant to communicate at this particular point. So this theme reflects the existentialist philosophy concerns with the void at the center of existence. So the absurdity of existence, the Chairs dramatizes the absurd, the contradiction between humanity's search for meaning and universe apparent meaninglessness. So how we can see this? The circular repetitive nature of life. In fact, the play's structure, setting, it represents the endless repetition without progress. This is most important. Circle means we start and end at the same point. There is nothing like progress, linear progression नहीं है. The old man and old women retell the same story. They live the same day, engage in the same meaningless conversation. The circular room, circular island, circular action all suggest that life goes nowhere. Then the futility of human endeavor. The old man has spent his entire life preparing his most important message, but the final act is to organize this gathering to share his wisdom, but message cannot be delivered. Their life's work is revealed as futile, just like humanity's effort to understand universe and to get some credit of progress. This gesture, which is the suicide, is rendered meaningless. And finally, the breakdown of meaning. Throughout the play, conversations became fragmented and nonsensical. The climax of meaninglessness comes when the orator can only write gibberish or nonsensical, meaningless words, or we should say letters, on the blackboard. This breaking of the language, which is unable to convey meaning, this shows that how there is a great gap between the illusion and reality, that we live in a world of illusion. So this is how this play represents the absurdity of existence. Okay friends, this is all in this chapter. I hope I was able to make you understand this play. It is very good play. Please read the text also to understand it. Very soon we will come up with next work. Till then, keep watching, keep supporting. Thank you friends.